Hello and welcome everyone. It is Wednesday, February 26, 2020. Today was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week. Wow, what a time to be collecting comics. Today was one of those days. The hype and the craziness was in full gear today, and I hope you got all the books you wanted. We'll get into the books I picked up today in just a second. Quickly want to say thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube and followers on Instagram. And just to let you know real quick, my last video, wow, did that open up a can of worms talking about cameos and first full appearances. I got a lot of comments on that one, and man, you know what? Most of you were really good. You know, I know some of you disagreed, and that's fine. I have no problem with people that disagree with my topics. It's when people start leaving comments on my channel, like, don't listen to this channel, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That tells me you're an asshole, and I have no time for you people that do that. It speaks a lot to your personality, but most of you were really good. I mean, like I say, even if you disagreed, it's fine. Hey, I don't have a problem with people that disagree. You all had good points to make, and I really appreciate all the comments, and I hope you all got the books you wanted today. Like I say, we all know what book I'm talking about. There was a real hot one today, so we'll get into that in a second and talk about a bunch of other stuff. And I got some stuff coming down the road I want to talk about too at the end, so we'll get into it quickly. But before I do that, I haven't done a comic shop shout out for quite a while, so I want to do one. One of my Instagram followers said, "Hey Jim, there's this really cool shop in Philadelphia. It's called Amalgam Comics. It's in Philadelphia. The owner is Ariel Johnson. The first black woman-owned comic shop on the East Coast, so congrats to her. It looks like a really nice shop too. It's like a coffee comic shop, and they got food and snacks and drink. Man, she's looks like a really nice lady too, so I would definitely stop in there probably a couple times a week just to go in for coffee, because man, I love my coffee. Looks like a really nice shop. I got some images on the screen, you can see those. So if you happen to be in the area, stop in, say hello, set up a pull list. Talking about pull lists, to get these hot books at cover price, pre-order them, folks. I can't stress that enough, because then you don't have to worry about all the craziness and the hype. You've got it on your pull list, you walk in there, you pick up your stuff, you go. Anyway, so Amalgam Comics, they're my shout out today. Looks like a really nice shop, so if you're in Philadelphia, check it out. Down in the comments, so the address, phone number, all that kind of stuff. So congrats to her, looks great. And don't forget about Key Collector Comics app. Nick the Knob has got a great app, and despite me calling a knob, he's a really good guy, and he puts out a ton of great info on there. So don't forget, it's a free download on the App Store or Google Play or whatever the heck you got, and a ton of info on there. He's always updating stuff too. So anyways, great app, check it out. Jim Comics code, you get a free 1-week trial. Anyways, we'll get into what I picked up this week. My shop got shorted some books, so I didn't get all the books I wanted. I wanted Bang #1, the second print. I got them. He's apparently getting them next week, so hopefully I get those. I did get my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Jenica #1. I just grabbed the one cover. That's her first solo title, as you all know. There's a few other books I couldn't get, but I'm hoping to have them next week, so that's the only indie I was able to get this week. From DC, I got Far Sector #4. I've been liking that series. This is kind of the origin of her Green Lantern ring and all that kind of stuff. So haven't actually read that one yet, so I've got to get into that one, I'll be honest with you. I haven't read Batman Curse of the White Knight #7. I'm looking forward. I'm going to read that once I'm done my video. I'll go up and read that one. I've been enjoying that series. Been really good. Of course, I got my Batman Beyond 41, and I'm going to show an image in here, so be warned, if you don't want to see this, turn off the video and watch it later after you read it, because then you don't have to leave a comment saying I ruined your books. But like I suspected in this, if you remember, Constance was taking Terry to meet Blight, and Blight was going to transfer his consciousness into Terry. And it didn't quite go as planned, and remember, spoiler alert here, so I'm explaining the book. So, anyways, they get away, let's just put it that way. But right at the end, on the last page, I got to show this, because this is kind of what I'm thinking. You can see Blight's basically the point where he's degenerated, and he's getting all pissed off, and he's going to go after Terry and Bruce Wayne and everything. But Constance is in the background, and Blight kind of blasts out a bunch of radiation. She's like, "Oh no, please, I love you." And then you see her feet fall down. So, and you're like, "Oh my God, she's dead." My suspicion is likely at some point, kind of like we did with Blight, looked like he died. You're going to get Constance coming back as a female version of Blight at some point down the road. That's my sneaky suspicion. So anyways, I just had to throw that in there because I really think that Constance is going to be a big character down the road. I had to pick up, this is a total cover buy for me. I had to buy that Detective Comics 1020, that Bermeo cover. Man, is that gorgeous. I'm sorry about the glare, I get the Mylar bag, but man, what a nice cover. It's got a really distinct style, man. It's just gorgeous. And of course, I had to get my my Hell Arisen #3. I got both covers. It was one of my picks of the week, and I'm still on the fence with this, folks. I'm not opening up the can of worms. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, the market is going to decide on this. I'm going to sit by, let it go. This is definitely a book you want. I said this at the time. Like, this is a great book. One you want, whether it's considered a cameo or first full. I mean, she's on 2 pages, bunch of panels, blah blah. You all know the score. You've seen all the images. Man, was that a hot book? Like, one of my Instagram followers, he sent me an image, or he texted me and said that the lineup from Mick is in New York, so the lineup from Midtown was down the building and around the block right before the store opened. That's just craziness. Another guy put a video out on Instagram. The lineup in the store is just nuts. So yeah, they sold out of that pretty quick. I hope you got your copy. It's a good one. I think the print runs around, I've heard around 25,000. So who knows, but we'll find out in a month or so what the exact numbers are, or pretty close to what the numbers are. But that's a good one. That is one of those ones that doesn't come around too often, so I hope you got it. From Marvel, picked up a few from them. Got Ravencroft #2. That Inmate 616 shows up again in there, which was kind of interesting. Got Star #2. I read this Fantastic Four Grim Noir. Despair shows up, not a first appearance. He's been around for a while, but kind of battling with Ben there. It was pretty good. I enjoyed that one, actually. It was good. I like the artwork of that one too. Got me Ghost Rider #5 with the Spirit of Corruption in there. Got a couple copies of that one. Had to get that. Got me Avengers 31, which was kind of a standalone story with Tony Stark, and it's kind of an interesting ending with Mephisto and everything else. So read it; it's good. I enjoyed that one. And last one I got from Marvel was I picked up X-Men #7. Crucible came along. You learn what that is and everything else. So that one was pretty good. I've been enjoying that X-Men. I haven't, like I've said a few times, I haven't been picking up all the other ones, but I have been buying that one, so that one's pretty good. In the background here, I got, actually a couple of books I didn't. I wanted to get Ant-Man 2 this week. I forgot to pick that one up. I forgot to pick up a couple, actually. Ant-Man 2, because that's got the first appearance of I can't remember the guy's name, the first full appearance of those 3 creatures that showed up in #1. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier had a new killer that showed up, and I forgot to grab that one too. Anyways, I'll get those next week. So by now, I'm sure you've heard that Dan Didio's left DC, and who knows exactly why and all that kind of stuff. I'm not too worried about it, but I mean, he's been around a long time, so it's a big shakeup at DC. And real quick, hang on one second. Just want to talk real quick about this. If you remember, I can't find my Doomsday Clock #12. But in Doomsday Clock, CBR had an article back in December about this. About DC possibly doing a crossover with Marvel. And so there's been some rumors flying around about that for a while. And if you remember at the end of Doomsday Clock, I'm going to show an image on the screen because I don't have the book in front of me, but it talks about a secret crisis on July 10th, 2030. And that Superman and Doomsday will fight Thor and a green behemoth, which would be the Hulk. So it's kind of interesting. So that was back in December. And then if you remember in Thor #2, I'm sure you remember this. We had this kind of an homage or a brief glimpse of Superman and the Flash and Green Lantern, all that kind of stuff, and it looks like Batman on the side. They're flying around. So it's kind of interesting. Like it's lending a bit of credence to it. I mean, whether or not something happens, I don't know, but it would be kind of cool if a secret event ended up popping up in July, and it wouldn't surprise me when they say July 2030. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being this year. So look for something to come out potentially this year, maybe not. Who knows? It's all rumor at this point. There's also a rumor going around that DC may potentially be selling off some of the rights to their characters just for comics to Marvel, and that's something maybe brewing in the background. Who knows? That was something the Lords of the Long Box were talking about the other night. So again, it's all rumor. Don't quote me on any of this. I'm just passing on a message that other people have been talking about. So that would be kind of cool. We'll see what happens. I want to talk about Star Wars #3, or Star Wars: The Rise of Kylo Ren #3. I put this on my Instagram last night. Nick had it on his app last night too. You'll see an image on the screen from this book. There's a hologram that shows up, and it's a character by the name of Avar Chris. I got it written down. Hang on one second. Yeah, Avar Chris. Just a real brief cameo, kind of a hologram of her. And then Charles Soule, yesterday, it was announced the new Star Wars comic coming out in August is Star Wars High Republic. It's going to be about 200 years prior to Skywalker. And the female character on the cover of that, which you'll see now, is the same female that you saw in the hologram. So her first appearance, by the looks of it, is from this Rise of Kylo Ren #3, and Soule himself confirmed that yes, the girl in the hologram in this book is the girl on the cover. So I mentioned this, if you got that one, hang on to it. That Star Wars Kylo Ren series is 4-parter. It's been a good one to get, so that's I don't buy a ton of them, but and that Star Wars High Republic, which you can't order yet, so don't worry, you got tons of time, but that, like I say, it comes out August. There's mention that potentially that could be used for Disney Plus or a movie down the road. Who knows if it is or not, but that's some comments that people have been making. So I don't buy a ton of Star Wars stuff, but I'm going to buy that one because that one sounds kind of cool. And this run by Soule, and this one's been pretty good, so I'm going to get that one. And I got in the background my my reprints of Magnificent Miss Marvel. The whole Storm Ranger covers, these second prints. I showed these a while. These came out a few weeks ago, along with issue #10, which I got here somewhere. The reprint for this one, which is the image from the last page of #10. You had, remember, #5, you had the suit show up. #10, you get that kind of first appearance at the back, and then her first full was in #11. Those are all good books to get. Because what's happening with Marvel is that this Empire run, she's going to be getting her own standalone miniseries, Empire Storm Ranger. It's a 3-part miniseries, and that comes out March 13th. So it looks like Marvel has some plans for Storm Ranger going forward. It's not just some character that came along and gone. So these ones you got, I'm sure a lot of you got those. Hang on to them. They look like good ones. And by now, I'm sure you saw the news that the Batman 92, which comes out April 1st, kind of funny that April Fool's Day is, like, anyways, the cover A has Punchline on the cover, and then the Art Germ cover, which was originally going to be released on with issue 94, has been bumped up to 92. So now, issue 92, you'll get cover A with her on the cover, and the Art Germ cover, both for the same issue, and that will be a really good one. That comes out April 1st, as I said. That's a good issue to get. Print run by then will be up higher. There's been these first few issues of Batman from 86 till probably the next one, 90, will be in that 60,000 range, I think, because shops didn't really order heavy. And now that there's a ton of hype, as you know, a lot of people will be putting it on their pull lists and everything else, so the print runs will start climbing. So these first few issues are really good ones to get. And the next one, Batman 90 next week. Again, I hope you got Batman on your pull list. That's going to be the hot book next week. I can almost guarantee it, because that's the designer shows up in there, and it is his first full appearance and his origin. It's a really good issue. I've read it already, and it is really good, and you're going to want that one in your collection. I mentioned this quite a while ago on my Instagram, that that was one you wanted. And he's a character that it's funny, Punchline's been getting all the attention, but he's a cool character, and his origin story is kind of cool too. So that's one you're going to want next week. I sure hope you got on your pull list, because like I say, that's going to be a hot one next week too. So that's all I got for you this week, folks. Like I say, my shop shorted a few books this week, so if I have time to do one next week, I'll try and show some of the books that I didn't get today, and I'll show them next week too. But then whatever I get next week, I'm sure, as you know, Batman 90 will be one I'm showing. So there you go. Happy hunting, everybody. I hope you got to your store today and got the books you wanted. Take care. Talk to you later in the week. Bye for now.